When your phone lights up in a dark room, it cuts across your face like a blade. It was 4:12 a.m. The message was short, almost meaningless. Today is Myth Mirror Day. Today belongs to Cybele. Normally, you'd delete it and move on. People love sending little inspirational lines at ridiculous hours. But this one felt different because something inside you moved, like you were being called. Not from the outside, from the inside. You sit up in bed. That kind of silence, the kind you only get before the city wakes up, it's a strange emptiness. And in that emptiness, you can't really run from yourself. And when you can't run, the truth starts. You remember being a kid, afraid of mirrors, not because of the dark, not because of monsters, because of you. At some point, you realize something. Mirrors don't only show your face. They whisper who you are. And sometimes you don't like the answer. You get up slowly. Your feet hit the cold floor. Reality comes back. But that message doesn't leave. Myth, mirror. Those two words echo in your head. A mirror and a story, or more like an excuse to finally face yourself. You walk into the kitchen, turn on the coffee machine. That familiar sound, that safe routine. Humans love routine because they don't really want to change. But today, it feels different. You take a small bowl from the cabinet, fill it with water, then without thinking, you sprinkle in a pinch of salt. You don't even know why you're doing it. But some things don't get explained. They get remembered. Then you open a drawer and pull out an old hand mirror. The edge is scratched a little. The glass isn't perfect. Good. Perfect things don't show the truth anyway. You sit at the table, turn off the lights, light a small candle, the flame trembles. So do you. And that's when you realize this isn't really a ritual, it's a threshold. And thresholds split you in half. The person you've been and the person you're about to become. You take a deep breath. And for the first time, you're honest. Who am I? Silence. People love asking that question, but they don't want to hear the answer. You wait. Then you pick up the mirror. It's cold, like something real. You dip the bottom edge into the salted water. A ripple spreads out. For a second, it feels like the world cracks. Then you lift the mirror and look. The first thing you see is exhaustion, then roles, then masks. Because no one is just one person. We're agreements between parts of ourselves. And you're no different. One part of you wants to look strong. Another part of you just wants to rest. One part of you wants to make everyone happy. Another part of you wants to disappear. And the worst part? None of them feels fully like you. That's when something shifts. The reflection doesn't stay flat. It deepens, like it's looking back. And then a calm feeling comes over you, not scary, not heavy, just unavoidable. Like something inside you saying, stop running. And for the first time, you don't. Cybele, you whisper. The name feels strange in your mouth, but it's strong. Because that name doesn't only belong to a goddess. It belongs to untamed power, to the wild, to the one who protects cities and still carries chaos inside her. Cybele isn't order. Cybele is balance. And you've been unbalanced because you've been trying to be one thing, strong, successful, loved, right. But the truth is, a human can't be just one thing. And when you try, you break. You lean closer to the mirror, and then you see something, not exactly you, but not a stranger either, like a version of you that could exist. Calmer, clearer, more whole. That version looks at you, it doesn't speak, but somehow you understand. Choose your name. There are names people give you. And then there's the name you give yourself, the real one. You breathe in slowly, and you think, what have you been? What have you been trying to be? And more importantly, what have you been avoiding? The answer comes softly, but it's clear. Threshold. The second the word leaves your lips, something clicks into place. Threshold. Not inside, not outside, but the place that connects both. Not old, not new, but the crossing itself. And suddenly, you get it. The problem wasn't that you couldn't find who you are. The problem was trying to be only one thing. But you're a transition. You're change. And that isn't weakness. That's strength. The reflection softens like it approves, like it's saying, finally. The candle flickers, the water settles, and everything gets quiet. But the story doesn't end there, because real transformation doesn't happen in a mirror. Real transformation happens out in the world. The next day, you step outside and everything looks the same. Same streets, same people, same problems. But you're not the same because you're not performing anymore. You're not hiding anymore. You're not forcing your parts into silence. You're carrying them. And somehow, that makes you lighter. On the subway, you notice a man. He looks exhausted, like something inside him is cracked. No one's looking at him. Everyone's on their phone. Everyone's in their own world. Modern life teaches you one rule. Don't get involved. But Cybele, she gets involved. She protects. She sees. And now, you can't unsee it. You sit down beside him. You don't say anything. You just stay. And sometimes, that's the deepest kind of strength. Not saving someone, just being with them. He looks at you. His eyes are wet. But this time, he's not alone. And you realize this is the continuation of that moment in the mirror. Maybe Myth Mirror Day isn't a real thing. Maybe it's not on any calendar. Maybe no one celebrates it. But here's the truth. The day you decide to change, that day becomes a ritual. And Cybele? She's not just a goddess. She's a reminder that strength isn't only about building order. It's also about carrying chaos. And now you know. You're not broken. You're not missing something. You're a threshold. And some people, they don't change the world. They make the crossing possible. And sometimes, that's enough. But something inside you isn't done yet. Because once you cross a threshold, you don't go back. You start noticing things you used to ignore. The way people carry weight in their shoulders. The way silence sits between conversations. The way some smiles are too quick, too practiced. It's like the world didn't change, but your eyes did. That night, you come home again. Same apartment, same walls, same quiet. But it doesn't feel the same anymore, because now you're aware. And awareness is uncomfortable. You drop your keys on the table. The sound echoes louder than usual. You pause, and for a second, you don't turn on the lights. You just stand there in the dark. Because now you understand something most people avoid their entire lives. Darkness isn't the absence of light. It's the space where truth waits. You walk back to the table. The mirror is still there, exactly where you left it, but it doesn't feel like an object anymore. It feels patient, like it knew you'd come back. You sit down slowly, this time no hesitation, no questioning, just presence. You don't light the candle immediately. Instead, you look at your own reflection in the dark glass, barely visible, distorted, and somehow more honest. Why does this feel real? You whisper, and the answer doesn't come as words, it comes as a realization. Because this isn't about belief, it's about attention. You finally paid attention. That's all it takes. Not magic, not rituals, attention. You light the candle, the flame rises again, and with it, something else rises too. Memory, not the kind you choose, the kind that chooses you. You're standing somewhere else now, not your kitchen, not your apartment, a different place. Stone, wind, open sky. And there she is, not as a person, not as a face, but as a presence, massive, unmoving, like a mountain that decided to watch you. Cybele, not gentle, not soft, but not cruel either, just undeniable. You feel small, but not in a bad way, in a real way, like you finally understand your place and your weight and your responsibility. She doesn't speak, she doesn't need to, because her existence says enough. You are not here to be comfortable, you are here to become. And suddenly, everything clicks deeper. All your confusion, all your inner conflict, all your feeling of not fitting anywhere. It wasn't a problem, it was a process. Because people like you, people who live between identities, between roles, between expectations, you're not lost. You're being shaped, like stone under pressure, like land before a city is built. You're not behind. You're becoming foundation. The vision fades. You're back at the table, breathing heavier, heart slower, but something inside you settled. And then comes the second realization, the one people don't like hearing. Transformation isn't beautiful. It's not clean. It's not aesthetic. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It feels like losing something. Because you are. You're losing the version of you that survived to become the version of you that lives. You look at the mirror again, and this time, you don't search. You don't question. You just observe. And that's when you notice it. There's no fear anymore. Not because everything is solved, but because you stopped resisting. And resistance is where fear lives. You take your hand, slowly, and place it on your chest. Your heartbeat is steady, grounded, present. I'm here, you say quietly, not to anyone else, to yourself. And for the first time, it feels true. Outside, a car passes, life continues, unaware of what just happened inside this small room. And that's the strange thing about real change. It doesn't announce itself. There's no music, no applause, just a shift. Silent, permanent. You lean back, exhale, and let the moment settle into you, not as a memory, but as a new baseline. And then, days pass. Nothing dramatic happens. No sudden success. No instant clarity. Just small differences, but they matter. You respond slower. You listen deeper. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't rush to fix people. You don't rush to fix yourself. Because now you understand something most people miss. Not everything broken needs to be fixed. Some things need to be understood, and some things need to be accepted. You start noticing your patterns, the way you avoid certain conversations, the way you shrink in certain rooms, the way you overcompensate when you feel unseen, but instead of judging it, you observe it, like you would observe weather, and slowly, without forcing anything, change begins. Not explosive, not dramatic, but real. And then one day, someone asks you a simple question. What do you do? And for the first time, you don't answer with a role. You don't say your job. You don't say something safe. You pause just for a second, and then you say something different. I help people move through things. They look at you, confused, curious, and you don't explain because you don't need to. You're not trying to be understood anymore. You're trying to be aligned, and that changes everything. That night, you return home again. Same space, same mirror, but now it's not calling you. because it doesn't need to. You already crossed. You sit down one last time, light the candle again, not out of need, out of respect. You look into the mirror, and this time, there's no vision, no voice, no symbol, just you. Clear, present, whole, and that's when you realize the final truth. Cybele was never in the mirror. She was in the part of you that refused to stay small, that refused to stay divided, that refused to stay asleep. You smile slightly, not big, not performative, just real. And you whisper one last thing, not a question, not a request, a statement. I won't go back. The flame flickers, and then you blow it out. Darkness returns, but this time, it doesn't feel empty, it feels full. Because now you know, you're not searching anymore. You're walking, and every step you take is part of the crossing, and the crossing never really ends.